song as he rises to heaven. May your glory fill the earth as the waters cover the sea. See our hearts and remove anything that is standing in the way of coming to you today. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, hear us from heaven, forgive our sins, we pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, hear us from heaven, forgive our sins, we pray. Though we are few, we're surrounded by many who have crossed that river before. And this is the song we'll be singing forever. Holy is the Lord. Holy is
Join me tonight as we begin national prayer. First Friday of this year. Shall we pray for our nation together? Lord,
holy is the
you
Lord.
are holy, Father.
Holy
You are just.
is the Lord.
You are merciful. You are kind. You are a jealous God.
Happy Wednesday, fellas. Great feeling to have you again for another Wednesday teaching on worship, one of my favorite topics. So I hope you all doing great and you're staying warm. It's very cold out here in Texas, and it's very important that you turn your heater on. So we are on our series, which is using members of our bodies in worship. And last week we talked about something really important, which is lifting up our hands. So we want to stay on the topic. We want to stay with the members of our hands, because we can do a lot of things with our hands, believe it or not. And I'm sure you all know that. So today we're not going to talk about lifting our hands because we covered that, but we want to talk about, you guessed it, clapping our hands. Yes, that's what we want to talk about today, and which is something that we do a lot, more often than not. So clapping our hands unto God in worship means simply praise. So I was thinking of looking at the meaning. What does the dictionary says about clapping our hands? By the way, clapping our hands means applause, giving a round of applause, like we all know it. So the dictionary on Google says applause, or clapping our hands, is approval or praise expressed by clapping. Clapping expresses praise, my friends. Think about it. When a very important personality enters a room, for example, a president, when a president enters a room, what do people usually do? They usually rise and then they clap their hands, right? It is praise when we clap our hands unto the Lord. And let's look at a biblical reference to this. We're going to turn to 2 Kings 11 and the verse 12. It reads, "Then he brought the king's son out and put the crown on him and gave him the testimony, and they made him king and anointed him." Look at the last part. "And they clapped their hands and said, Long live the king. Why clap their hands if it means nothing? They were praising him. So it's important that we clap our hands unto the Lord because it's just exactly the same as we're praising him with our words or other expressions. Let's look at a second verse here. Psalms 47 verses 1 and 2. Oh, clap your hands, all peoples, shout to God with the voice of joy, for the Lord Most High is to be feared, a great king over all the earth. So sometimes when we're worshiping either corporately or by ourselves, wherever that is, sometimes we're at a loss of words, which is fine. Sometimes we don't always have the words to say to our God, but we have our members and they're here to assist us. God gave us those members in order for us to be in constant worship of him. So sometimes you just clap your hands and that's all you need to do. And you are saying more than you know unto God. There are many things that you can do. Sometimes you just raise your hands. And there are many other things that we do with our members that we're going to talk about next week. So when you're clapping your hands, know that you're doing something very specific. I hope this helped somebody today. And I'm very happy that you were able to join us today for this other teaching. Next week, I'm very, very excited to be able to see you again. Take care, fellas, and may the Lord bless you. Shalom.